want to take a deep breath in, and then you let the air out at intervals, okay? So you take, I'll show you how to do it. So you can put one hand on the chest, the other one on the lower abdomen. You take a deep breath in, and then you let the air out in 4 takes, okay? Where you're taking a break in between. So then you take another breathe in and out in 4 intervals where you take a pause. And you're trying to let all the air out of the lungs on the 4 exhales, okay? So, one breathe in and then out. So in doing that, we try to really clear out all the old air from the lungs, and then take a very nice deep breath in, and then we're gonna do that again. So you're gonna lie down on the mat, and then you're placing a pillow or even something bigger, even the block if you want, in between your shoulder blades. I'm gonna use this, so that really opens up my back. Actually, no. I'm gonna do the block, and I'm gonna put the pillow on between, okay? So you're placing the upper part of your back on the pillow. Make sure that your head is supported so your throat doesn't open up too much, okay? So you still want to have the pillow supporting you, but the chest is open, okay? And in this position, you're placing one hand on top of the chest, the other one on the lower part of the abdomen. Take a deep breath in, and 4 letting out with a pause. 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 1 deep breath in and out. Pause. Pause, pause. Now you carry on with the breathing like this as I'm explaining the heart chakra. So the heart chakra is in the middle of the chest. It governs the heart and the lungs. It extends to the arms and is in charge of the circulation, the breathing, and also because it's in charge of the thymus gland, which is around the chest area. The thymus gland is also responsible for the immune system. So any problems with autoimmune diseases, with circulatory problem, with heart problems, with lung problems, it means your heart chakra is not working properly. And then the heart chakra, which is in the center, is represented by the color of green. So for today's practice, imagine we're all Robin Hoods or the Robin of Batman. So we've got this nice little green costume, especially a green t-shirt, okay? So you're wearing a green t-shirt all the way down the arms, and every time you're trying to focus this green permeating all around the torso and all around the arms, okay? The heart chakra is quite an interesting one because it's the bridge between the grounding ones that we've just covered, so the root, the sacral and the solar plexus, and the more spiritual one, which is the throat, the third eye and the crown chakra. So to progress from a more basic ground chakras, you have to go through the heart to then go to the spiritual realm, okay? The heart chakra is very much in charge with emotions, passions. So a balanced chakra has got, a person has got a lot of compassion, empathy, is altruistic, but it's got a good balance also to be quite kind to themselves, okay? If the chakra is too closed, most of the time the people will present almost like very selfish behavior, almost like narcissistic personalities where people have got no empathy for other people, and they can be quite clingy, jealous, and not sure about themselves. If it is too open, it's the typical thing about wearing your heart on the sleeve. So really you're giving too much, you're always doing things for other people but not giving enough time for yourself. So you're giving out a lot but you're not taking anything back, and you're not allowing enough time to self-nourish, okay? So you can see also from an emotional point of view that some people can be a bit too close, a bit too open, but if you are balanced, then the thing is you've got enough time for other people and for relationships, and but at the same time you also got time for yourself. In terms of relationships, if the heart chakra is too closed, the person will never try to involve themselves too much into a relationship. So the relationship and the friendship that they have are quite shallow. Whereas if it is too open, people may want to intrude too much in your life and they've got no boundaries. A balanced person has got very deep and meaningful relationship with other people, but at the same time knows when they can give space to the person and friends and family. Okay? So now come up into a seated position. I hope you enjoyed the breathing. So the breathing that concerns with the heart chakra is taking a deep breath in and letting the air out at intervals of 4, where on the 4th one you're really letting out all of the air. So if you come up now in a seated position, you're sitting on the block, and we're just gonna do a quick warm up. So your cross-legging your head, your legs in front of you, you're sitting on the block, keeping yourself upright, and you start placing your hands on the legs. And really what we're going to do now, we're going to open the chest, okay? So on the inhale, you're placing your hands in front of the knees, pushing your chest forward, looking up towards the ceiling. Exhale, you're curving the back the opposite direction, looking down towards the groin. On the inhale, so we're doing the cat and the camel sitting, pushing the chest forward, looking up. Exhale, curving the back the other direction, looking down towards the groin. One more. Inhale, pushing the chest forward, and exhale, curving the back. Now come back into a neutral position. Interlace the fingers in front of you, straighten the arms. On the inhale, you're pushing your palms away from you, and on the exhale, you're bringing your hands up towards the ceiling, rolling the shoulders away from you, looking forward, and making sure you're tucking the belly so that the belly doesn't stick out. And with the heart chakra poses, most of them is trying to open your chest. So today we really have to concern ourselves to keeping the chest open in every pose, okay? On the next inhale, keep your left hand up towards the ceiling, right hand down towards the floor. Inhale, lengthen the left side. Exhale, lean towards your right, bending the right elbow, looking down towards your left armpit. Really stretching the left side of the body. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center, left hand by the block, right hand up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen the right side. Exhale, lean towards your left, looking down towards your right armpit, stretching the right side of the body. Inhale, come back to the center, right hand behind you, left hand over the right knee. Inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist towards your right, chin parallel to the floor, and you're looking towards your right shoulder. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center, left hand behind you, right hand over the left knee. On the next inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist towards your left, chin parallel to the floor, and you're looking towards your left shoulder. And then inhale, come back to the center, get rid of the block. Place it somewhere where you can reach it. I've just noticed my dog has bitten off the block. Anyway, on your hands and knees. And then you're basically tucking your toes under on the inhale, and exhale, you're pushing your bum up towards the ceiling, looking down towards the floor. On the inhale, you're bending the right knee, transferring the weight onto the left leg. On the exhale, you're bending the left knee, transferring the weight onto the right leg. Looking down towards your feet so your neck is nice and long. Inhale, you're bending one leg. Exhale, you're bending the other. And then on the next inhale, look towards your hands, bend the knees, start walking your feet towards your hands. Once you reach the hands, keep your feet hip-width apart. Grab hold of the opposite elbow, bend the knees. Inhale, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, you're folding forward, letting go of the head. And now nod your head a couple of times, turn your head right and left. If you want, you can straighten the legs. You're just wanting to make sure you're really letting go of your head and the upper part of the torso. And then very gently bring your head towards your right leg and then towards the left. Opening up the lower back. And then come back into the center. On the next inhale, release the hands down onto the floor, tuck your chin under, bend the knees. On the exhale, you're coming up into a standing position, head last to come up. Come to the top of the mat, we're gonna do 3 sun salutations. With the sun salutations, we're gonna focus on the up dog or the mini cobra, where you're opening the chest forward. So just look at me, when you're doing the up dog, if you're here, or if you're here, you're really trying to open the chest forward, looking forward, okay? If you're here, you're just bringing the elbows or the forearms down and you're pushing there forward, okay? And then when we're doing the downward dog, we can do a variation where you're placing one hand on the outside of the opposite leg and you're turning your torso towards the opposite leg, okay? So I'm gonna walk you through it, but it's better if you see it before you're downward, okay? Feet together on the top of the mat. Distribute the weight so that the weight is in the middle of your feet. And then start engaging the front of the thighs by pulling your kneecaps up, tucking your pelvis under, suck the belly in, open the chest, tuck the chin under, arms by your sides. On the next inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Look up at your hands, suck the belly in. On the exhale, you're folding forward, placing your hands on the shin, the ankle or the mat. On the next inhale, press through the hands, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend the knees, hands on the mat. The right leg out into a lunge, left leg to meet into a high plank. On the next inhale, bring the knees down and bring your chest down to the floor on the exhale. Top of the feet on the mat. Now we're keeping the arms bent and we're peeling the chest off the floor. You're looking forward. Roll the shoulders away from you, push the chest forward, looking forward. On the next exhale, tuck your toes under, coming to your hands and knees. Bring the seat towards your heels and you're coming up into a downward dog. Stepping your feet forward so you can bring the heels down towards the floor. Looking down towards the feet. And try to bring your legs, try to have your legs as straight as you can, heels down towards the floor. And then on the next inhale, if you want, you're bringing your left hand on the outside of the right leg, either on the knee or on the ankle. And then try to turn the torso towards the right. One breath here, inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, place your left hand down onto the floor, look towards your hands, bend the knees, start walking your feet towards your hands. Once you've reached the hands, keep your feet together, exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, engage the core by coming up a little bit. Bring your hands up towards the ceiling and exhale, hands by your sides. Second one. Inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, press through the hands, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands on the mat, add a step or jump into a high plank. We're setting the plank, you're on your tiptoes, you're pushing the heels away from you, pull the kneecaps up, squeeze the glutes, suck the belly in, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, add the knees to the floor, or you're coming down into a lower plank, bringing your body down towards the floor. And now push the body through the hands. On the inhale, you can straighten the arms, otherwise you're staying into a mini cobra. Again, push the chest forward. Exhale, tuck your toes under. You're coming into downward dog. Adjust the feet so that you can bring the heels down towards the floor. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. Feet hip width apart. Adjust the torso, keeping the hands as wide as the shoulders. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. Pushing the head through the arms so that you're trying to bring the torso towards the thighs. And now if you want, you can do the twist on the other side. So you're placing your right hand on the outside of the left leg, either ankle or knee, and then you're turning the torso towards your left. Inhale to the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. On the next inhale, bring your right hand back onto the mat, and then looking towards your hands, either step or jump to the top of the mat. Exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, engage the core, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hands by your sides. One more. Inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Remember that green t-shirt that you're wearing, and imagine that the whole of your torso is basically permeating with this green light. Exhale, you're folding forward at the hips. Inhale, press through the hands, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hands on the mat, add a step or jump into a high plank. Inhale, set the plank. Exhale, add a low plank or knees to the floor. Inhale, up dog. Open the chest, roll your shoulders back, and exhale, down dog. Now you can do the twist if you want, or you can just stay in the downward position, really enjoying the stretch and squeezing the shoulder blades together, so that enables you to open the chest. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. Just focus on the chest, imagining this green glow starting from the chest, all over the torso and the arms. And then on the next inhale, you're looking towards your hands, add a step or jump to the top of the hands. And exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, engage the core, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hands by your sides. Okay, everybody? So, I was saying you probably need a chair that you can grab hold of for a couple of the poses. You might not to, but better have it handy. Feet together, hands on the hips. You're stepping with the right foot, 2/3 of the mat. We're gonna do the triangle pose, okay? So you're turning the toes towards the top right corner of the mat, and you're pulling the kneecaps up so the legs are straight. The heels are on the floor. On the next inhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Exhale, leaning forward. You're bringing your hand either on the shin or on the inside of the left ankle. Right arm up towards the ceiling. And then on the next inhale, you're starting to turn the chest towards your right, rolling that right shoulder back. So you're trying to bring the shoulder blade towards the spine, bringing your right arm up towards the ceiling with the palms facing away from you. You're either looking straight ahead or towards the right hand. Focus on try to open the chest towards the side and really keeping that chest open. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, you're looking down towards the floor. Exhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you step into the front of the mat. We're gonna do on the other side, feet together, hands on the hips. You're stepping with the left foot 2/3 of the mat, turning the toes towards the top left corner of the mat. Heel on the floor, and both legs are straight by pulling the kneecaps up. And inhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Exhale, lean towards the front leg. Then you're placing your hands on the shin or on the inside of the ankle. Left arm up towards the ceiling, palms facing away from you. And then make sure you're still pulling the kneecaps up on the inhale, extending the torso so you're not collapsing onto the right side, but really trying to turn the torso towards your left, looking either straight ahead or towards your left hand. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. Focus on the chest. And then on the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Exhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you step into the front of the mat. Okay, so we start with the feet hip width apart. You're stepping with your right foot into a lunge, okay? So you need to have a space between the back and the front foot that gives you a bit more stability. And you want to still have your right foot facing forward. The heel is off the floor, but you're trying to keep that right leg straight by pushing the heel away from you. The front leg is bent. You're sitting in between the two legs. You're not leaning forward. And then turn the torso towards your left, making sure that right foot doesn't come in. So the right foot is still facing forward. And then when you're ready, you bring your arms, one in front, one at the back, thumbs facing away, thumbs facing the ceiling, and you're looking towards your left hand. Now again, you want to really make sure you're turning the torso towards your left, so you're opening the chest in that position. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. So today's class is all about compassion, empathy, but it starts from us and then it can emanate to other people. So first of all, we need to perform self-love, and then we can love other people, right? On the next inhale, come back to the center, hands on the hips, and then you step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. And now we're gonna do it on the other side. So you're stepping with the left foot, 2/3 of the mat, making sure you're still having the left heel off the floor, but you're trying to keep that leg as straight as you can by pushing the heel away from you. You're bending the front leg. On the next inhale, turn the torso towards your right. Make sure you're not leaning forward, you're sitting in between the legs, and that left foot doesn't come in. Then you're bringing your arms parallel to the floor, roll the shoulders away from you, twist to the side, looking towards your right hand. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. Imagine that green t-shirt that you're wearing, really making the torso and the arms feeling green with this glow of energy. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. On the next inhale, come back to the center, hands on the hips, and you step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, so we're gonna do the half moon. The half moon is a balancing pose, so you might need a block, or you might need the chair in front of you, in front of the mat, where you're sort of leaning your arms towards it, okay? So I'm gonna show you first. I'm gonna have the chair next to me so I can show you, okay? All right, have the block on your right hand, and then hands on the hips, so the left hand is on the hip. You're stepping with your left foot sort of halfway down the mat, but you're still staying on the tiptoes of the left foot. You're bending the right leg, and as you're straightening the right leg, you're starting to straighten the right leg and lift your left leg off the floor with the block underneath your shoulder. So you need to make sure that the block or the right hand are not very close to the right foot, otherwise you lose the balance. Lift the left leg off the floor, parallel to the floor. If you've got a chair, just make sure that you're resting your forearms on the chair and you're focusing on lifting the left leg off the floor. Now, you can turn the torso towards your left, and if this is as far as you can go, that's fine. You're also turning that left leg out so that the toes are pointing towards the side of the room. And then if you want, you can lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. If you're on the chair, you're twisting towards your left. And if you want, you can also lift that left arm off the floor. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, start looking down towards the floor, left hand on the hip, start bending the right leg, and you're bringing your left foot down towards the floor. Step to the front of the mat. We're going to do it on the other side. So if you're doing it with the block, grab the block onto your left hand. I'm going to show you how to do it on the chair, okay? So block is on the left hand. You're stepping the right leg out and back, and then as you're bending the front leg, you're lifting that right leg off the floor and you're resting your forearms onto the leg, onto the chair. If you want, you can still keep your right hand on the hip. Turn the hips towards your right, and then you're turning the torso towards the right. And then you can bring your right hand up towards the ceiling. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. So make sure you're squeezing the shoulder blades together, so you're really opening the chest towards the right. And then on the next inhale, start looking down towards the floor, right hand on the hip. Start bending the standing leg as you're bringing your right leg down towards the floor. Step into the top of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, so we're gonna come to the top of the mat. This time the feet are hip width apart. And you're stepping with your left foot into a lunge. So again, your left heel is off the floor, but the leg is straight, and there is a distance between the front and the back foot. So the back foot is slightly out in correspondence to the right. And then you're bending the front leg. And now you're turning the torso towards your left. Then come back to the center. Bring your right arm up towards the ceiling. And now you're straightening the front leg. And then you're bending the front leg. Straighten the front leg, bend. Last one, straighten the front leg. As you're bending, you're bringing your left knee down towards the floor. Now you can walk that right foot forward a little bit so that the ankle is just underneath the knee, and you're pushing your hips forward, so you're stretching the hips, rolling your shoulders away from you, pushing the chest forward. You can even look up towards the ceiling. And then from here, you're looking forward. Place your hands on the hips. You're placing your left hand underneath the shoulder on the mat, level with the right foot, and then you're tucking the left toes under, straightening the left leg, and bringing your right arm up towards the ceiling. Turning the torso towards the right, looking either straight ahead or towards the ceiling. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. So the best way to open the chest is to squeeze the shoulder blades together and then really turning the torso from the hips. One last breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, look down towards the floor, place your hand on the hip, knee down onto the floor, come up so that both hands are on the hips, tuck your left toes under, straighten the legs, so you're coming up into a standing position and you're stepping to the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. We're gonna do the other side. Feet hip width apart. This time you're stepping the right foot out into a lunge. You're bending the front leg slightly. Position your feet so that the right foot is slightly more out than the front. The right leg is straight. And then turn the torso towards your left. And then come back into the center. Inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Roll the shoulders away from you. Again, the emphasis is to push your chest forward. So opening the chest, sucking the belly in, imagining that green glow flowing around your torso and your arms, looking forward. Giving yourself also a feeling of warmth, but also of kindness towards yourself. And then on the next inhale, straighten the front leg and then bend, keeping your right leg straight. Inhale, straighten, exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten, exhale, bend all the way down so that the right knee is down onto the floor. You can walk your left foot forward a little bit so that the ankle is in line with the knee, pushing the hip forward, opening the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades together, looking up towards the ceiling if you want to. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And then look straight ahead, hands on the hips. You're placing your right hand in line with the left foot underneath the right shoulder. Tuck your toes under of the right foot, straighten the right leg, turn the torso towards your left arm up towards the ceiling. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Really turning the chest towards the left, looking up towards the ceiling, keeping that right leg straight, feeling that green glow running around the whole body, but especially the chest and the arms. And then on the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Exhale, hands on the hips, knee to the floor. On the inhale, you're coming up by placing both hands on the hips. Tuck your right toes under, straighten the right leg, and then step to the front of the mat, giving yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, so we're gonna do the balancing pose. There's two versions here. The dancer pose, which is a bit more of a difficult balancing pose. I'm gonna show you how to do it on with the help of a chair. Otherwise, if you really don't want to attempt it, you can go into the tree pose, which is the one that looks like this, okay? And you stay here, all right? The chair is right in front of you, to the side of you, okay? You're balancing all your weight onto the left leg. And then what you're going to do, you're gonna bend the right knee so that you're bringing the foot back. And then you're bringing your right arm back with the thumb facing up, and you're grabbing hold of the inside of the foot so that the thumb is on the sole of the foot, the rest of the fingers are on the top of the foot, and then you're squeezing the knees together. Now, basically for the purpose of the chakra, you need to lean forward slightly, kicking that leg forward, kicking that leg back, okay? So if you don't want to use the chair, you're bringing your left arm forward And as you're kicking that leg out, making sure that the leg doesn't come out to the side, you're squaring the hips, you're pushing down, okay? Chest forward. If you want the chair, you're leaning on the chair, chest forward, you're kicking the leg out as much as you can. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, start bringing the knees together again, coming up, hand on the left hand on the hip, you're releasing the foot and you're releasing the leg. Okay, give yourself a little bit of a shake. If you're doing it with the help of the chair, you're transferring onto the right side and you're doing exactly as you did with the other side. I'm going to show you without the chair. So you're balancing yourself onto the right leg, squeezing that right glute, and then bending the knee, bringing your left arm behind, thumb facing up. You're grabbing hold of the inside of the foot so that the thumb is on the sole and the rest of the fingers are on the top of the foot. Squeeze the knees together. Oop. And then when you're feeling balanced, bring your right arm forward. As you're pressing down on the right arm, you start kicking the left leg out. But you want to bring your chest forward. One more breath here. And then on the next inhale, start bringing the knees together. Right hand on the hip. Release the left foot. And give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, we're coming down onto the mat now. So you want to double your mat a couple of times or use the pillow underneath your knees, okay? We're gonna do the camel, so we're gonna be on those knees. So if you want, just use the pillow underneath the knees as more padding, otherwise you're just doubling the mat, okay? Now have the knees parallel to the hips. You're on the tiptoes of your foot. We're gonna do the camel, okay? So this is a back bender, but it's also opening the chest. So we're obviously, for today's purpose, we're focusing onto the chest, okay? Now you're bringing your hands behind you with the fingers pointing up towards the back, okay? So the hands end up with the fingers pointing up towards the head. And then you're squeezing the elbows together, and that already opens the chest, as you can see, okay? So this is the main thing you're trying to work on today. And then for the purpose of this pose, as we're doing the pose, we might as well just add a little bit of a back bend. So you're on the next inhale, you're starting looking up towards the ceiling, and then pushing the hands up the back, you're pushing the hips forward, giving yourself a little bit of a back bend. Chin to chest if you want, or you're looking up towards the ceiling. Still opening that chest by squeezing the elbows together. One more breath here. And then on the next inhale, push yourself back up. Release the feet, sit on your heels. One hand on the chest, the other one on the lower abdomen. Just take a breath or two so that you're resting here. And then we're gonna do it one more time. So you're coming on your knees, tucking your toes under. Again, we're working on opening the chest. So the hands go behind your back as much as you can, with the fingers pointing up towards the head, and you're squeezing the elbows back. So you're basically trying to bring the elbows towards the back of the room. You're pushing the chest forward, and then you start pushing the hips forward as you're sliding the hands up the back. 3, 2, and 1. Release the hands, sit on your heels. This time, if you were doubling the mat, undo the mat. and you're coming as slightly backward, lying on the heels, coming down into child pose. The knees are together, so you're supporting your lower back. The forehead is onto the floor, top of the feet on the mat. You're sitting on your heels as much as you can, with the hands in front of you, relaxing into this pose. And now from here, we're gonna go into the extended puppy. Again, this is try to open the chest, okay? So from here, you're looking towards the hand. You're starting to slide the arms forward as you're bringing the bum up towards the ceiling, and you're trying to bring the chest and your chin towards the mat. Curving that back and really releasing not only the back of the upper back, but also opening the chest. And then very gently start bringing your bum back down onto the heels, and you're coming into your fours, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to thread the needle. So you're placing your right hand directly underneath your right shoulder, and you're placing your left hand underneath the right arm, bringing your left shoulder and your left side of the head onto the floor, bending the right elbow to the sides. And then from here, you're bringing your right arm up towards the ceiling if you want. If you want an even further stretch, you're wrapping that right arm behind the back, grabbing hold of with the fingers of the front of your left thigh. And if you want, you extend the right leg so that you're on the tiptoes of the right leg, opening the chest out to the side. One more breath here. Really focus on that area of the chest, imagining this green glow of light just washing the whole of your torso. And then on the next inhale, start bringing your right arm back onto the mat, coming back onto the fours. This time, your left hand is directly underneath the left shoulder. You're tucking your toes under, right hand underneath the left armpit, right shoulder, right side of the head onto the floor. You're bending your left elbow out. You can stay here if you want to. Just try to open the chest to the side. If you want, you bring your left arm out. You can wrap it all the way behind your back, grabbing hold of the front of the thigh on the left leg, on the right leg, sorry. And then you can extend the left leg and really open the chest to the side. And then on the next inhale, if you had the leg extended, bring it down, bring your left arm onto the mat, right arm. And we're staying on the hands and knees. You're looking forward, so this is going to be called the tiger pose, okay? You're transferring the weight onto the left leg. Actually, you can rest the top of your feet onto the floor. And then transfer the weight onto the left knee, left leg. And you're lifting the right leg off the floor. Now, your choice here, you can either grab hold of the ankle with the left hand, looking forward, or you're keeping your hand onto the mat, but your chest is opening forward. 3, squeeze the belly so that you're not overarching your back. 2, and 1, and you're replacing the right knee down towards the floor. Shift the weight onto the right leg, hands underneath the shoulder, push the chest forward. So you're already in position with the chest, you're looking forward, and then you're lifting the left leg off the floor. Suck the belly in, 3. Push that foot away from you so that you're pushing the foot up towards the ceiling. And then relax down, coming into child pose again. Really releasing the lower back. And then on the next inhale, walk your hands towards the body so that you're sitting on your heels, shifting the weight either side of the feet so that you're sitting down onto the mat. Legs are straight. Again, we're going to do the staff pose and the folding forward, because these two poses together with the triangle and the sun salutation are basically covering all the chakras, okay? So it's quite important to get this right. Point the toes up towards the ceiling, legs as straight as you can, release the flesh away from your buttock. If you need a block, place it underneath your bum to help you sit up straight. Hands either side of the bum with the fingers pointing towards the toes. Slightly bending the elbows and pushing the elbows away from you so that towards the back, opening the chest. Really engaging with the core muscles all the way from the root chakra, so you're clenching the bum hole, sucking the belly in, opening the chest, tucking the chin under, keeping that straight spine, feeling that you're really engaging the core muscles. Now we're going to do two more of those breathing that we did at the beginning. So take a deep breath in, and then out a quarter, pose. Out a quarter, pose. Out a quarter, pose, and letting it all out. And one more deep breath in. Out, pose. Out, pose. Out, pose, and letting it all out. And then on the next inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, suck the belly in, and exhale, you're folding forward at the hips. And then whenever you're feeling like your lower abdominals are starting to go, relax the head, the hands wherever they're comfortable on the legs, tucking your chin under, making sure your legs are still straight by pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. And then on the next inhale, suck the belly in, pulling with the hands, you're trying to bring the torso towards the thighs. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Imagine you're wearing the Robin Hood costume or the Green Lantern, whatever superhero you want to be. There's a lot of superheroes that have got green costumes anyway, so your choice. And then on the next inhale, come all the way up. Now, we're gonna have the feet on the mat, hip width apart, okay? So the knees are parallel to each other. And then what you're going to do, you're gonna turn the legs down onto the right so that the knees come down onto the floor. And now we're gonna twist towards the right. If you want to go further with this pose, you're grabbing hold of the right foot, you're placing it into a half lotus, yeah, on top of the left thigh. And you're grabbing hold of the big toe with your right hand, turning towards your right. Otherwise, you're placing your left hand on the outside of the right knee, right hand behind you, and you're twisting towards your right. So you're looking towards your right shoulder. If you want to do the bind, you're bringing your right arm all the way behind your back, grabbing hold of the big toe with your right hand and turning towards your right. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, release the bind if you were doing the bind. Bring the foot down towards the floor, otherwise you're turning the torso back up and you're bringing the legs back onto the mat. We're gonna do it on the other side. So you're bringing the knees down onto the floor, the right bum cheek comes off the floor, okay? And then right hand on the outside of the left knee, you're turning towards your left with your left hand behind you, looking towards your left shoulder. If you want to do the full pose, you're grabbing hold of the foot, trying to bring it as close as you can towards your thigh, roll it on the thigh, left hand behind you, grabbing hold of the big toe, and then turning towards your left. Inhaling to the count of 5. Always think about the chest today. So you're really always thinking about opening the chest to the sides. And then on the next inhale, release the bind, bring your leg down up to the floor, and you're rolling the knees back up towards the ceiling. Now we're gonna do the cow face pose. So grab hold of the block, and you're placing it lengthwise on your bum, okay? So not the wide part, lengthwise. So this way, not this way, okay? Onto your bum. And now, with the knees bent as they were before, you're bringing your right foot as close as you can towards the side of your bum, okay? Now, according to how flexible you are, you're either placing your right foot on the outside of the left knee. This is if you're not very flexible. Otherwise, you grab hold of the ankle and you're trying to bring it on the other side of the block. So one knee is stacked on top of the other, okay? And then you're bringing your right arm behind you, left hand up towards the ceiling. You can grab hold of the hands behind your back, otherwise grab hold of the t-shirt wherever you can, and try to hug the left upper arm towards your head. Suck the belly in, open the chest. If you want to go further with this pose, you're folding forward at the hips, trying to bring the chin over the right knee. Otherwise, stay here. Make sure that you're just focusing on not bringing your belly forward, sucking the belly in, opening the chest, looking forward. And then on the next inhale, first release the hands, and then you're releasing the right leg and then the left. And now we're going to do it again. First the right leg comes down, and then the left, you can place it over the right knee or on top of the right knee. And then left hand behind your back, right hand up towards the ceiling. Try to grab hold of the hands behind your back, otherwise grab hold of the t-shirt, but you're really hugging that right upper arm towards the head. Suck the belly in, open the chest, and then if you want, you can fold forward. And then on the next inhale, come all the way up. Release the hands. First, release the left leg and then the right. And then release your block. Place your hands on the knees. Actually, we're gonna go back into the first pose, which was the one where we kept our chest open. So you're placing the block again lengthwise onto the mat. You're placing your pillow on top of the block, making sure that the head is supported by the pillow, okay? You're lying yourself onto the mat so that your head is supported by the pillow. If you need to adjust the pillow, just do so, or use 2 pillows. So you're feeling that the chest is open. You can stay here with the arms out to the side, tucking the chin under. Either the knees are bent, as I do now, or you're releasing the legs down onto the floor. Make yourself comfortable, because we're gonna do our meditation like this today. So if you need another pillow underneath your lower back, do so. You just want to be comfortable with your head. You're not overextending your neck, so your neck is not open up. You're just focusing on keeping your chest open and your arms to the sides. And as you're lying down, we're gonna start doing the relaxation, and then just a couple of affirmations for the heart chakra, okay? So start relaxing the ankles, relax the feet, relax your calves, relax your shins, relax your knee joints, relax the back of the thighs, relax the front of the thighs, relax your hips. And now from the hips, you're starting to relax the whole of your glutes, coming to the middle of your glutes, and then coming under and over your reproductive organs, relaxing the pelvic area. Relax your lower abdomen, so the area between the pelvis and the belly button. And relax your upper abdomen, so the area between the belly button and the rib cage. Traveling up the torso into the rib cage, your chest, your breasts, your chest bone, the clavicles, the top of your shoulders. And now traveling down the back, either side of the spine, into the upper back, the space in between the shoulder blades, relaxing the shoulder blades, relax the middle of the back, relaxing your lower back, all the way down into the sitting bones and your coccyx, coming into the hip bones, and then traveling up the sides of the body into the waist, the sides of the rib cage, and into the armpits, relaxing the armpits. Relaxing the shoulder, so your front of the shoulder, the top of the shoulder, and the back of the shoulder, relaxing the upper arms, relaxing the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, and the hands. Coming back to the top of the shoulder, relaxing the back of the neck and the front of the neck. Relax your chin, your lower jaw, the upper lip, the nose, the cheeks, the eyes, the temples, the forehead, and the whole of your scalp and the skull. And now what I want you to do, I want you to bring the little finger and the thumb together so that they're touching each other. That activates the heart channel in the acupuncture practice. So the heart meridian starts from the little finger and goes all the way into the inside of your armpit. And then just imagine this green glow light, so this ball of green light starting from the chest, spreading throughout the whole of your torso, front and back. So it permeates the whole of your rib cage, front and back, and from there it goes into the arms, going all the way down into your fingers, and especially focusing onto that little finger and the thumb. And just feel this flow of green light traveling all across the body now. So it's the whole of your circulation. So you're pumping this green light all across your vein system and your arteries, but also on your lungs. Bringing healing. The green color is a healing color. So you're bringing this healthy color to all of your cells of the body. And then just try to focus on your heart and try to imagine a person for which you've got immense love. Bring that person to your mind and just feel the sensation it gives you. and try to replicate it all the time with people around you. But really focus on the person that you really had a very good feeling and a very good relationship with. And just focus on the feeling that it brings to your heart. And now very gently release the fingers and bring the awareness back to the rest of the body. Take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh out through your mouth. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you sigh out through the mouth, start wiggling your toes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you sigh out through the mouth, start wiggling your fingers. And then very gently bring one knee at a time towards your chest. Hug the knees to the chest. And then start rocking back and forward until you're coming up into a cross-legged position onto the mat. And then when you're ready, start bringing your hands in front of your chest. And then just give yourself gratitude for giving yourself time to practice today. And just have that feeling of love that you had for the other person, but just give it to yourself. And thank you for practicing today. Namaste.